meeting. Those who can, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Trustee Voorhees.
Present.
Trustee Anderson.
Here.
Treasurer Roman.
Here.
Supervisor Kowal.
Here.
Trustee Smith.
Here.
Trustee Ruggles.
Here.
Clerk Noble here.
Okay, we're all covered. Need a motion to approval of the agenda?
Make a motion to approve the
I
agenda.
have a motion by Mr. Noble,
Support.
support from Mr. Anderson. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, the ayes have it. Public comment. You have 3 minutes to state your case and your business of items that are not on the agenda. You'll have to identify yourself for the recorder. Seeing no takers, closing public comment. Moving on to consent agenda. Looking for a motion to approve consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent
I
agenda.
have a motion to approve from Mr. Noble. Looking for support.
Support.
I have support from Mr. Roman. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, the ayes have it. 7A, approval of the minutes of the regular board meeting of March 18th, 2025. Questions or comments on the minutes?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve from Mr. Anderson. Support. Support from Mr. Ruggles. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, the ayes have it. Thank you. Presentation. I'm very proud to say that we are going to be receiving a little something here for the Police Foundation. So why don't you guys come up for that and get this all together. You stay right there. That's okay. You can do it from the podium. You're going to kind of get near the podium so the folks there can pick up your
Very
voice.
good. On behalf of the Huron Valley Chamber of Commerce, we obviously cover White Lake. And when looking for community donations this year, Anthony was gracious enough to reach out and let us know all the good things that you guys do in the community. And so on behalf of us, we would like to present $1,000 to the White Lake Police Foundation.
Thank you. Certainly appreciate that. The foundation is probably one of the greatest outreach programs that we have here and affects many, many lives. And a lot of people really get enthusiastic and fired up about it. It's a very broadband base of benefits to the community, in particular the kids, one child at a time. So I certainly appreciate that, and I know the chief appreciates it. And I do sit on the board of directors, so I want to thank you very much for that contribution.
Hopefully we can continue it and find
Yes.
more ways to contribute as well.
Supervisor Kowal, I sit on the executive board with the chamber, and it's a pleasure. I see all the hard work that Joelle puts into the community day in and day out, and we're lucky to have her, and it was a great opportunity, and we're really privileged that you're here tonight, and thank you for all that you do.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for
Yes.
being involved. Thank you. Okay, moving along here. That is always a good thing. It makes things, it's nice when the community members around us get involved with everything. So it's also, one of the things that I want to talk about a little bit is mental health. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, so we're kind of getting a little bit of a jump on things because I want everybody to think about it a little bit, because there was a movement many years ago where many of the facilities for people that had issues were shut down within the state of Michigan, and the resources seem to have settled, gone down, and it seems like we have more and more problems to the point of where now police departments are looking for and trying to attain mental health resource officers. And we're fortunate enough that we have an agreement with a couple other municipalities where we have someone who helps us out. And the conversation I had with Chief Keller he's helped us out on multiple times. He's a very, very good guy, and makes the job a little easier when you're walking into a situation where you have unknown. So White Lake Township would like to make a proclamation moving forward for the month of May for mental health awareness, whereas mental health includes emotional, psychological, and social well-being. It affects how we think, feel, and act. It also affects how we handle stress related to others and make choices. And whereas mental health is important for an individual well-being and vitality, as well as that of our families, communities, and businesses. And nearly 1.5 American adults have been diagnosed with mental health condition in any given year, and more than 42.5 million adults live with anxiety disorder, the most common mental health condition in America. May 1 through May 31st is recognized as Mental Health Awareness Month. MHA's 2025 theme is Turn Awareness into Action, which celebrates the progress we've made in recognizing the importance of mental health and providing challenges to turn understanding into meaningful steps toward change. And Oakland County Health Network joins our national partners in promoting this year's Turn Awareness into Action campaign. And mental health management ensures that individuals can focus on their abilities to live, work, learn, and fully participate and contribute to our society while promoting diversity, inclusion, and acceptance, and improving systems of care for vulnerable populations, access to non-emergent and crisis services, advanced integrated physical and behavioral health care, along with provider relations, help to fortify services coordinated by OCHN. And the Oakland County Health Network and its service provider agencies are committed to inspiring hope, empowering people, and strengthening communities. Now, therefore, let it be resolved that White Lake Township is hereby recognized as May 2025 as Mental Health Awareness Month. White Lake calls upon our citizens, government agencies, public and private institutions, businesses, and schools to recommit our state to increasing awareness and understanding of mental illness and the need of appropriate and accessible services for all people with mental illness to promote the recovery of a higher quality of life. And that is today's date of 4/15/25. And again, this is an extremely important subject matter that isn't always the easiest one for people to talk about or for people to deal with. So be aware that there's help out there, and I had a number down here, and I don't know where it went. You have that 1-800 number, you seem to be able to pop that up pretty quick. Yeah.
I got it. 1-800-231-1127, that's Oakland County 24-hour crisis phone number, and 988 is the suicide and crisis lifeline number. You can call 988 or text 988.
Okay, call 988 or text 988, and you can get assistance in the 1-800-231. What was that? 1127. All right, well, thank you. Thank you, Trustee Smith. Kind of got interjected there. But thank you very much, and I just think we all need to have that heightened awareness. So, request to approve CityWorks annual maintenance license renewal. I don't want to say it's boilerplate, but it's pretty much boilerplate. We need to work through this as this particular software, which helps keep track of our complete physical structure system of our utilities. And it's quite the tool, I know that, and I've seen it in action, and it makes life a lot easier to keep track of our assets and how everything's working. Mr. Potter, do you have anything to add real quick?
Yeah, so part of the, there's a slight increase in cost. However, we're going to be migrating all of our data storage from Amazon Web Services to Trimble, which is actually less expensive. So we're going to save about $2,500 a year in costs to Amazon Web Services. So the maintenance agreement's a little bit more expensive up front, but it actually is saving us about $1,400 a year because we will not have that additional Amazon Web Service cost.
Okay, all right. All right. Mr. Roman?
Yeah,
I have a quick question. You want to give a chance?
go ahead, Andrew.
Go ahead.
And I probably have asked you this before, Aaron, so I apologize. And I meant to call you, so I apologize for that also. Is there any way this can be longer contract, or is it still, no matter what we do, it's got to be a year-to-year contract? There's no differences?
We've done various lengths. So we've been using this since 2016.
Yep.
We started building it in 2016. Our original contract with them was 4 years in duration. So I could definitely look into other contract lengths. I think we've had a 4-year chunk, and then most of them have been 2-year renewals since
Yeah,
then.
I mean, I'm not against this. I was just curious if that would help in the future.
Okay, Mr. Anderson.
CityWorks is a very robust software. It's very good software to be able to use. My question is that not knowing, sometimes CityWorks can do some of the things that BASA does also. Is there a reason why, are you looking for a transition also to have CityWorks do what BSA does?
So we don't use, BSNA does have a GIS module.
Okay, right.
We looked into that early on when we were through our SAW grant back in 2016. Their applications are nothing like CityWorks.
I agree with you.
It's, there's really no benefit to merging those into one thing. Because BSNA's module doesn't do probably 75% of what we can do with CityWorks, there's really no benefit to merging those things into one thing.
And what does BSA do for us?
BSNA is what we typically would use for billing,
Okay.
accounting, tracking permits, those kind of things. None of those things really need to be map-based, but when you have assets out in the field, specifically underground assets out in the field, having that information be map-based helps you work with customer a lot quicker. My guys can quickly and easily pull up as-built drawings for any asset out in the field that they come across or are working on. We can track maintenance history down to the individual hydrant or valve from its installation to current, just with a simple search. So it's a different product for a different use than BSNA.
Just so you know, Steve, that's the accounting software,
Right.
BSNA, as well as tax.
Right, okay.
And assessor.
Okay. So it's not something that you actually use to go ahead and support the action of a DPS?
We use BSNA for billing
Okay, for billing, that's it.
and tracking of cross-connection control devices, meters,
Right,
anything related to meters or services, service accounts. That's really where it shines. But essentially, we have 3 main software suites that we use. Laserfish, obviously, that's a record repository, BSNA, and CityWorks. And that's pretty much the main 3 that we use in DPS.
well, I just commend you on CityWorks because I know that that's a very good, robust software and it's always supported by, municipalities, so good for it.
Yeah, it's a good choice. It's been very good for us, and it's also been,
We need a term.
it's a common language within the industry, so it's great. Yeah.
I'm sorry, he was talking to me.
Okay.
What? I'm sorry, please.
I just said it's a common software within the industry, so it's.
Right,
it's-
yeah.
It's a good thing to have.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments? Other than that, looking for a motion.
I'll make a motion that the DPS requests the approval of the CityWorks annual maintenance license at the current level of 7 users for amount not to exceed $14,155.65 to be executed by myself and the township supervisor with approval as far as for our attorneys.
Okay.
Review.
Attorney review.
Review. I have a motion from Mr. Anderson.
Support.
I have support from Mr. Noble. All in favor? Aye. Ayes have it. Thank you. Resolution number 25-008, approving participation in aqueous film foams, more commonly known as PFAS, product liability litigation settlements. This has been something that's been, Counselor?
Aaron's been working primarily with one of the attorneys in my office, but Aaron's been doing all the work. We're just kind of answering his questions and guiding him through it.
Yeah, so there's a lot to this, but there's been settlements from several of the manufacturers for literally billions and billions of dollars that will be dispersed to municipalities that potentially have had PFAS issues. And I think it's prudent for us to put ourselves in a position of having that available to us simply because we're not sure where this is ultimately going to go. and we're not sure where the emerging technologies are going to place and the cost of those technologies to remediate these problems. So I applaud you on working with this. I know there's been a lot of stuff that you put together.
Thank you. So this resolution is a requirement of the settlement claim process. We did file claims for the BASF and the Tyco settlements. In those two settlements, we are phase one plaintiffs. So I've been working with Joellen Shortley at RSJA on this. She has tailored this resolution to not only meet the requirements of the Tyco and the BASF claims, but also for the 3M and the DuPont claims. So we will not have to come back and do another one of these when we are filing those claims next summer.
Very good. Any questions or comments from the board? Seeing none, looking from, Mr. Roman?
I guess my question is directed to both Lisa and Aaron. Are we thinking that those communities with higher levels of contamination are gonna get more money?
100%.
Is that, okay. And then, any settlement money that we do get, is the plan kind of just to put it away in savings and until some kind of plan can be generated as to how to attack this thing? Because it's so new, I don't think there are any plans out there yet really to,
There are some treatment processes out there right now that are being developed.
still in development though, huh?
Well, they have a few processes that are known to be effective. They are very expensive. So with this resolution, our intention is to use whatever monies that we do get from the PFAS claims to use towards mitigation of the PFAS issue. What that is, we don't know yet.
We don't know yet.
Yeah.
That's what I figured. So it would be, just kind of put it away, save it, and,
We will most likely not get a lot from the PFAS claims. My thoughts are that you're exactly right. Folks that had much higher amounts of PFAS contamination were more impacted than we were. They will get the majority of the funding from these settlements.
Yep.
Our two compounds that we found, we were right at the lowest detectable level, and neither one of those compounds have maximum contaminant levels established or health standards
Right,
established at this
right.
time. We expect that to change in the future, but we really don't know when. So, you know, it's not ideal. What we've done now is reduce the flow out of that plant, which is a factor in the consideration for the amount of your settlement. So we've reduced the flow out of that plant to the minimum flow that we can get away with and still meet the demand of the system.
okay.
But, yeah, so I mean, we would like to use the funds to figure out what to do about that, but at this time, we don't have any of that
There's
information.
still a lot of questions.
There's industry-wide and worldwide, there's more questions than answers with
Okay,
PFAS
and
at this time.
then just so I understand too, we're not actually paying for legal services right now. Our attorneys are gonna take money out of whatever the settlement is that correct as well, or no?
No, our attorneys are being paid hourly.
Oh, we
at
are
our
paying?
Regular hourly rate.
Okay, I wasn't aware of that.
Most of the work so far has been done by my staff and myself. So we are consulting with our attorneys and they're guiding us.
Okay,
through
so
this
we are
process.
paying an hourly fee,
The bulk of the lift.
is what you're saying, for attorneys. Okay, thanks for the info.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Seeing none, I'll make a motion to adopt resolution number 25008, the resolution approving participation in the aqueous film foams product liability litigation settlement. As in the form of a motion, looking for support.
Support.
I have support from Ms. Noble. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, ayes have it. Item C, request to approve quote for reserve light poles for Elizabeth Lake Road, McNaughton McKay Electric. You know, they're the only distributor of that light bulb or like that thing, I think, in southeastern, actually Michigan, I think, period.
Probably Ohio too, right?
Yeah, they cover a large area, so it's not like I can go to 3 car dealers and get 3 different prices, because if you want that part, it's a proprietary part, and it's the way it is. You pay the freight. I noticed you did the homework we talked about on 6 of them. I hate to think we need 6, you know. I think I could be happier with a few less. The biggest problem is the storage of them. We have no good facility right now to store much of anything, and that's where if we got too many of them, I really wouldn't want to put them and let them sit outside, but we really don't, at this moment in time, have any indoor storage. But it sure wouldn't hurt to get a couple of them, especially with the lead times that we've seen on them. So I think that's prudent thinking, and I would support that. So we can try to find a home for a couple of them, you know.
I agree with you.
I got room in my pole barn, I don't know, you know. Any questions or comments? Michael?
Thanks for doing the legwork, Mr. Ruggles. We appreciate it. Yeah, as far as storage goes, so price-wise, the only thing that would change is probably freight, but it is what it is. You got to pay freight if you want them.
Yeah.
But we're thinking that the other prices would stay the same. So it's about, what, $7,000 per light pole. Wow. It's expensive. How about the basement of this building? Is there any storage down, there's got to be some storage down there.
Suggest that too, is could we fit them in here somewhere?
Yeah, there's got to be some
I don't
room
think you're gonna get 6 of them
downstairs.
down there.
Yeah.
No, but maybe like a couple, at
Yeah, you
least.
could get maybe 2 of them down there, but this place is,
Are they long, and like, what, are they, I'm assuming they're boxed, or are these really wrapped up into?
they'll probably be vacuum wrapped or wrapped in plastic, and maybe the heads will come in a box, but other than that, they're, you know, you can't put them outside. You don't want to expose them to
Oh,
the
absolutely.
elements, because there is electrical apparatus that could be exposed until it's sealed and assembled. So they do need to be stored inside someplace.
No, absolutely. I mean, I can think of a spot that I think my mom, with some conversation and some organization, might be all support that too. I haven't really thought about that till tonight. But I also want to thank Scott for championing this item. Road repair or light repair is a new world for us. It's a new venture for us. I agree. I think 6 is the right quantity. And hopefully we don't need that 6 right away. But I would hate to see a brand new awesome building, grand opening, and having 3 lights down. It's kind of like seeing a White Lake Township vehicle dead along the road. I don't want to see that either. So I'm gonna make a motion. Oh, I'm sorry, you're right, Liz, I'm sorry.
Trustee Smith?
So I think having a backup of these light poles are great because they're too close to the road and they're going to get hit again. Unfortunately, I don't wish that upon anybody, but they're in some bad spots. But what I wanted to bring a little bit of attention to my fellow board members is, in hindsight, we should have considered different light poles. I know it's too late now, but these are expensive. I did some homework myself, and some start out around the 3,000 mark, different designs. And so this is just food for thought, that when we're choosing things for this area in the future, we should think about, what it will cost to replace and maintain. And I would have liked them a little brighter once I saw them up. I mean, these are they've ended up being really specialized, and maybe, I think DLZ presented us a couple options. And maybe we should talk to them about presenting us in the future things that are, easier to get, and think about maintenance and things like that, so we don't come across this again as we're choosing material for the Civic Center and town area. So those are just my thoughts on it. And I'm so glad they're up. I almost brought some wire nuts to a meeting to get them connected and on. So, I guess if anyone wants to have discussion about the 6 or less, because storage is a little bit of an issue right now. With such a long lead time, I don't think it hurts to have 6 if we can fit them somewhere.
I would be a proponent of a couple of them, okay? Mind you, when the incidents occurred, it was inclement, brand-new road. The lights were also not even on at that time. Now the lights are on. People are starting to build familiarity with that. road course. The road commission is going to be installing more signs with a lower speed limit in that particular roundabout area to try to call it to their attention, which I find kind of peculiar that they, through all of their reviews, and believe me, there was more reviews of this plan than you can imagine, that they didn't require that in that particular area. I think a couple of them, we could probably find a home for them somewhere. You know, if we order 2 of them, I would say that it wouldn't, not to exceed $16,000 would probably be adequate. But that's just my thought process. And if we have an incident where one of them gets taken out, we can automatically order another one and have that one in reserve and have that one just be immediately available to whomever the contractor is to replace it. So we're not sitting there looking orphan for a long time.
And I just kind of picked a number with 6, you know, whatever the board
Maybe if we
thinks
start
is.
out with the lower amount, and if there is a problem that they are getting hit and coming down, we could always revisit this and order a few more.
Yeah,
You know, if we feel like
Why
they're
don't we go-
coming down at rapid speed.
If you want to get 3, that's fine. I just,
Split it.
6 is going to be a little tough to
If we
store,
could
I
do
think.
3 and then we're saving money, you know, with things going up, that would probably be a good number, 3.
I think they're about 8,300 apiece too.
Yeah. So,
One of the questions I had, wouldn't it, some discussion about the idea that the bottom of the light was going to be finished or
yeah,
something?
that's another subject matter. I don't want to get into that right now. There's a shroud that has to be purchased. It's a separate part.
Oh, it's a separate
Yeah.
part.
Yeah, our electrical inspector today came up.
He's
spoke
working
with
it.
Sean, Mr. O'Neill. We do, when we spoke with our electrical inspector today, he had those covers for the encasing around the light
He
poles.
found a supplier, I think, on the east side, maybe in Warren, and he was gonna order one. They're $40 a piece and make sure that he
They would
put it
fit.
on and that we could all take a look at it over the course of maybe a week and
Right.
say yes or no. I think that was significantly less than the price we had initially gotten, I think was like $120 or something
Yeah,
like that.
something
or-
nuts like that.
It was
Lot
triple
more.
the, yeah.
So we've been resourcing that, so
Okay.
that's on. But right now, I just want to get through, if we're going to order 3, I'm fine with that. We'll just have to find a place to put them. So I would say not to exceed 25,000.
That should cover it.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of 3 light posts, which is the Sternberg 1A 1521 LED F1240T4 MD L08 FG
Plus shipping.
TRSNPM. I include shipping.
What'd you say?
3 of those units, not to exceed 25,000.
Plus shipping.
No, it should cover it. That includes the shipping, Mike.
It does. It
Well,
says
the
plus
line,
shipping.
the line note is plus shipping, so I don't think it does include
Yeah, but this says plus shipping.
plus
doesn't it?
shipping, so I don't think shipping's included.
Yeah, I don't think it's included.
Just say plus shipping in case.
Well, we can put plus shipping, that's fine. I amend that to plus shipping. Looking, I have my motion, looking for support.
Support.
Roll call vote?
Supervisor Kowal?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Trustee Voorhees?
Yes.
Trustee Ruggles?
Yes.
Clerk Noble, yes. Treasurer Roman?
Yes.
Supervisor Kowal?
Yes.
Trustee
Said that.
Anderson.
I'm not done. Trustee Anderson, I didn't forget about you.
Okay, great. Next item. Mr. Roman and I were looking at this, and we started this back in 2021. So we're now coming to that point of where we have part of our cost participation of this. The amount that we're looking for, we've already paid the $62,000, which was the cost participation in the engineering. That was way back when. And we now have the contribution of $133,334, which is the right-of-way acquisition township share. The project is moving forward. We should have a total cost from the county for our total cost participation of $395,833. So hopefully that will be the end of the quagmire of mud, of which 2 weeks ago was to the point of where Fire department and police are both alerted not to go down that road because you'd lose a vehicle. I was there and there was a vehicle being pulled out from its belly pan in the mud, and it was just unbelievable. So hopefully this is going to resolve that problem and make that road a lot safer and also allow us to post a 35-mile-an-hour speed limit, of which right now, if you can believe it, it is 55, which is mind-boggling. Questions or comments for the continuing business from 2021?
Well, I'm just so glad that we'll be able to also include that speed limit, because the speed limit has been a huge topic.
Big problem.
And wish and desire that our residents, you know.
Yep.
So I'm so glad for that part.
Yeah, I'd heard from a lot of the residents down that road that they were concerned about the speed and everything else, so this will definitely go ahead and help the situation.
Yeah. And they're going to, as part of this acquisition, and as soon as I get the draft mechanical plan, I'll share it with the board. There are going to be some revisions in the curve of the road there right near Kingston. And this is what some of that acquisition is, to straighten that road out, because not only is there a blind spot, but there's a hill. And if somebody's coming down there at a good rate of speed, it could be a bad thing. So I welcome that. So that is our participation. Any further questions or comments? Mr. Roman?
I think when this came up to the board, I voted no, just because I thought we were spending too much money. But I am going to support this because I think it's a great project.
Thank you. Okay, I know the board has worked really diligently on this for quite some time.
No, I didn't motion it.
Okay, make a motion, Mr. Noble?
I'd like to make a motion. Request to approve the tri-pounding cost participation agreement between White Lake Township and Oakland County Road Commission, right-of-way acquisition for Pontiac Lake Road and Marjorie Drive to Kensington Street.
Support.
I have motion, I have support. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Kowal?
Yes.
Trustee Voorhees?
Yes.
Trustee Anderson?
Yes.
Treasurer Roman?
Yes.
Clerk Noble? Yes. Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Trustee Ruggles?
Yes.
Okay, and I really don't think there's any of us that haven't gone up and down that road. And with the construction that's going to be coming to 59, as you can see, the orange barrels are racking up. That's a good example of, having some sort of alternate course. I hope the thing holds up, though, for the summer at least. Okay, old business, second reading, ordinance amend zoning ordinance in the Charter Township of White Lake. I can build a barn 16 feet tall now.
Sure can, but not
Doggone
until
it.
7 days after the proper publication of this ordinance amendment.
Yeah,
I don't have to
okay.
give you a violation.
All right. Make sure that
They don't
doesn't
get
happen.
much easier than this. This is, as you probably recall from last month, an ordinance amendment to increase the wall height and the overall roof height of accessory structures on basically larger acreage lots. Property zoned suburban farm and ag that have at least 2 acres in size. There's a slight increase in the setback that would be required. If you tuck a little shed or garage in your backyard, in basically any zoning district, you've got to be 5 and 5, 5 feet from the side, 5 from the rear. We make you go 10 and 10 if you're going to build a giant pole barn on your 2+ acres. So everybody's got room. So this is good. I think a lot of people will appreciate this. We've heard from a handful over the last couple of years who are, I think, looking forward to this change. So tonight is second reading or adoption of this amendment, and if that is the direction this goes. We will publish as soon as possible this notice of adoption, and it will become law. And Rick can build a huge pole barn.
That's right,
In his backyard.
Nice. All right, any other questions or comments? I'd like to make a motion to move to adoption, the ordinance, to amend the ordinance, zoning ordinance of the Charter Township of White Lake by amending Article 5.0 site standards. That's a formal motion.
I support it.
I have a motion, I have support. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, ayes have it. Thank you very much. Okay, Civic Center update. Well, Mr. Roman, Mr. Noble, and I have been up to our ears in all of this going on. Generally 2 to 3, sometimes 4 or 5 days a week, depending on what's going on, not to mention Mr. O'Neill is up to his ankles in it, and then some. That's because it's already gone over once, and now it's coming up again.
That's right.
So we are moving forward. The frost laws came off last week, so week before last rather, so we've been able to run full loads. Foundations should be, perimeter foundations should be complete within the next 8 to 10 days. Steel is probably going to be arriving within the next 2 to 3 weeks. The giant Lego blocks are going to be arriving sometime in the next 2 to 3 weeks for the retaining wall. The land balancing is continuing as we speak. They're moving dirt off-site to access soils. And just a lot of things going on. And one of the things that will be coming back to this board, Michael,
What's that?
The thing that,
you're going to talk water, the water under the building.
Oh.
I'll let you just talk about that.
Well, there is an issue with water underneath the public safety building, so we are working on that game plan to really to fix that. As we all know, water always finds a way where you don't want it to go. And so it's my understanding that because of the separation in drain tile between the public safety building and its gun range, we do need some redesigning. It's gonna have to take place for that drain tile, just to make sure that, you know, groundwater doesn't seep into the basements. Stanley Park, I think, is starting any day.
They're actually there
Any
today.
day. Were they there today?
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, they're there today.
Yeah, today's the start date, April
Yeah,
15th.
we were there today, and we also posted a notice to the residents that the park will be closed from now until October. And we do have signs posted on the fence, and we're moving the sign from the park that shows the plan of the park up to the front side of the fence, so folks that have an interest can at least see what's going on and what will be happening. We have tree removal going on today. They were actually cutting some more and trimming a few more stumps, grinding up stumps out of the ground. And the engineers are out there doing their ciphering to set the course for the road. And we should keep things moving in a positive manner, and hopefully within the next couple, 3 weeks, really see some activity start to steam up over there.
Yeah, we're still waiting on comments back from engineering on the timber construction. Hopefully we'll get those comments back and get that part of the construction back on track. Gosh, anything else we're missing, Sean?
Heard late in the day from Stu, they got some of the answers in the timber frame issue today. I saw them, I didn't really have time to go through them, and I'm not a structural engineer, so I'd be pretending to understand what it says rather than really understanding. He says tomorrow the rest of the comments will come back.
Okay, those will come back from engineering, but they've still got to go back to the
They do.
structural
Right, to
engineers.
Sterling.
for-
So we're basically on hold until we resolve the questions with shop drawings, which is what Sterling, who's the timber frame construction installer, they can't finish the shop drawings and get the material ordered until they know exactly what they need and what the specs are. So that's where we're at. And obviously, you know, one building's getting steel and the other one's getting some steel and some timber frame construction. So we can start with steel that's been ordered and will start coming in for public safety, but the timber frame stuff will prevent us from moving into kind of that vertical phase until we get some of this stuff kind of resolved. So hopefully this week we'll have everything kind of addressed. So, and then that basement drainage issue, we're starting to get pricing back, starting to have some design information back so we can get pricing. It's likely going to be something that McCarthy and Smith asks the board to handle in a special meeting next week. So we're going to have a meeting tomorrow out on site as we do every Wednesday. And so I'm thinking sometime the beginning of next week. I mean, this would be a very quick meeting, other than obviously there's some discussion as to, you know, maybe the cost and the process involved. But what I want to do is make sure you all have it for a couple of days before you're asked to come in here and make a decision on something like this. And I think we're all sort of at the construction committee and with McCarthy and Smith on that same page. So I want to make sure that the design has plenty of time to kind of go through its process. McCarthy and Smith has time to price it out with the folks who are going to be doing the installation and then get that all to you in a complete package. That's kind of where that's at.
Yeah, and Sean, I think too that whatever plan comes forward, wasn't the water gurus, was it G2, I believe?
It was.
Didn't they say that if we don't take the recommendations, that they're not going to warranty the waterproofing?
Yeah, I think there'll be a couple of contractors that will ask us to sign hold harmless letters if we don't take the advice of our geotechnical engineers.
So it sounds like we don't have a whole lot of choice.
Right.
Well, the problem is that, to Mike's comment, water always wins. And when you're building a building that's going to be a long-term investment, and when they did all their original soils, they found groundwater levels, but they weren't consistent. And there seems to be a little bit of a, I don't want to call it a spring, but a little bit of a flow coming from a lowland across the street behind the church. And that water is just finding its way. So better to divert it now and get it out of the way and make sure that it's not a problem, than ultimately be wondering one day, what's that coming up through the crack in the concrete? And then, dealing with it after the fact. So it's not a pleasant thing by any means, but I think it's probably the right thing to do when you're building that kind of a building, so.
Agree.
Okay. Yes.
If I may just give a quick update, myself and Deputy Treasurer Patton and Deputy Supervisor
Oh, that's right,
Pergamont,
yeah.
we've been meeting and will continue to meet, and we started selecting things for the inside. And it's still many more things to select, but we have chosen some things, so if any board member would like to see samples, they're inside Rick's office right now, or staff. So I'll give an update now and then when we have something, if you'd like to look at it.
What are these interiors and what? The interiors where?
All over the building. We've started picking out things, so there's, we've picked out some floors and some tile, bathrooms. We're working on acoustics next.
And the architectural firm or anything else, or NBS is being able to help you with that? Or you're doing everything on your own?
Of course, yeah, the three of us are working on it, yep.
It's coming together.
No, I'm just
We're
wondering.
working with one of the other companies to help with some of the colors, the one group that Trish has brought in. So the board approved that expenditure.
Okay.
Couple
Yeah,
months
no, I
ago.
was just wondering who it was as far as was it a design firm or was it the furniture dealership or
NBS.
whatever?
Yeah,
For what? They'll be both involved.
right.
Yep.
I
Okay.
forgot the woman's name. over
So
there.
who are those,
NBS.
who are the three?
Right, but I forgot her
Oh,
name.
Danielle.
Danielle, that's.
Oh,
what it is.
Danielle's
Yeah.
doing it?
Liz, Trish,
Okay.
and Kim, Pat.
Thank you.
So only women, no, women, I know
No, the guys got kicked off the committee.
Yep.
They were all colorblind.
just wanted it to be equal, just saying.
They all had poor taste.
I love a
Booted.
good female point, but nothing wrong with
Booted.
men's.
If you need any help, let me know. Okay, 45 years of commercial interiors, I can possibly help.
Okay, sounds good.
I'm not even gonna go there. Okay. All right, so that's kind of where we're at. Ongoing, things are happening. It's very good. We got a lot of activity and it has caught the attention of a lot of people, so we're moving in the right direction. Mr. Ruggles, trustee comments. What do you got cooking?
Oh, thanks. There's a planning commission meeting this Thursday, and I apologize, I won't be there. I've got a date with the Easter Bunny, so I got a scheduling conflict, and I'm sorry about that. While I'm on the topic, happy Easter to everybody. And, yeah, that's all I've got for tonight. Oh, and I'm sorry that I wasn't able to see everybody at MTA. I really wanted to be there, but I wasn't able to, so I hope everybody had fun and learned something.
Okay, well, you always learn something when you're up there, one way or the other. Trustee Voorhees.
We have to start off with No Has Day, May 3rd, 3 weeks from today at Alpine Valley, 9 to 3. Always a good day to get rid of your hazardous waste. List on the township website of acceptable and unacceptable waste. Bring them on. Historical Society started their meetings for 25. They have a very robust schedule of things they'd like to do by supporting the things that we do at the Historical Society. It's a great, not quite my happy place, but pretty dang close to be there. We have Wi-Fi now, so we're kind of getting into 25. And last of all, yes, Scott, we had a great time at MTA. I'm disappointed that you couldn't be there. I had the honor of doing the flag again this year, and I had some adventures in the flag, with the flag this year, so I can add to my stories of the White Lake Township flag, but it's always an honor. And I want to share the story, not let anyone else share the story, so I'm not going to repeat it tonight, but it's a story for me to share. But yeah, I enjoyed going, so thank you.
All right. Mr. Noble?
I just want to, thank Treasurer Roman. The last 4.5 months, we've been going back out for bond sale. He's done a tremendous job, and can't express how lucky we are to have such a great treasurer. It's been a roller coaster ride for our community to get the bond, and we finally were able to complete that, about a week ago?
Yep.
And I just want to thank Mike for really all of his hard work and effort, because I don't think it could have been done if anybody else was in his seat. And I just want to thank him for that.
Okay. Trustee Smith?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. I just want to mention a couple of things to the library. This past week, the 6th through 12th, was National Library Week. If anyone was interested, then the libraries had a ton of celebrations as they continue to celebrate their 50th anniversary, and will be doing so all year. They have some things planned if you want to mark your calendar that sound fun. They have their Friends Book Sale, June 11th through 14th. Summer reading program kicks off June 12th through August 9th. That's for all ages, 0 to 100. And then they've planned something that sounds a lot of fun. It's June 21st, and it's the 50th anniversary disco party. And that's an evening party, so if anyone's interested in that. And then, of course, as it's Holy Week, I want to wish everybody a blessed and happy Easter. Thank you.
Mr. Anderson?
A few things. On March 27th, the ZBA met. We had 3 cases on the docket. The first one was actually was excused because the owner of the home ended up remeasuring, and it was not necessary for them to have a variance, so they were happy about that. The second one was approved with an addition over their garage. The third one was with Kroger. They are starting a new marketing plan, and marketing with signage and everything else. And some of the signage that they presented to the ZBA had some issues with regard to signs, the size of the signs. So they understood that, and the sign company that was working with them decided that they'd go back to Kroger and explain to the suggestions that we had, and we'll probably see them at the next ZBA. And number 2, I wanted to commend our treasurer, Mr. Roman, for his efforts on the recent 4 months in managing the finances. I think Clerk Noble ended up saying that also. But as I said, as I come on this board, I find out how important the treasurer is as far as supporting the things that we need to do. So again, thank you, Treasurer Roman. Number 3, Lakes area. Chamber is having a coffee connect on April 17th at 8:30, 9:30 at the Hospitality House in Commerce. And I just encourage anybody that wants to network and be able to help and promote their business to be able to do that. And last but not least, we've all said this holiday is soon approaching, and it's one of the most significant holidays for people of faith. So enjoy and discuss this with your family and explain to them how important this is as far as in our lives. And wishing everybody a happy Easter.
Very good. Mr. Roman?
I want to thank Clerk Noble for the kind words and Trustee Anderson for the kind words. Appreciate it, guys. I wanted to kind of call a shout out today for General John Kohavi, our resident in White Lake that was reappointed to the Civil Service Commission. If you're tuning in, John, I read your biography. It was great. Really enjoyed it, and just wanted to say thanks for serving White Lake, and thanks for serving this country. I know General Kohavi flew over, I think, 300 combat missions in Vietnam, so thanks for everything that you have done.
Thank you. On that note, I had a discussion today with the in-house officials that Mr. Kalhavi has most generously offered a $250,000 endowment to White Lake Township for the public safety building. He is putting a proposal forth. He'd like to put his little signature on the building. So I will be bringing that proposal to the board shortly. But he definitely wants to leave his mark. He's left his mark in many places throughout the state of Michigan. I think there's a couple dorms named after him, an athletic building.
Athletic building,
A couple other things. So he's been almost 50 years serving White Lake Township, if you can believe it. So it's a good thing to have people like that that are committed to your community. So it's a great thing. So, well, further information. I'd like to give a little shout out to Alpine Valley, in particular to Joe and Ted Kosick. I really appreciate the fact that you are a good community neighbor with White Lake Township. And I have some kind of cool news. It's kind of in the pipeline, so to speak. They are now starting to do all their planning for a tubing run down the hill. So they're going to have a facility that more of us with, that may be a little more relaxed with a few trips to the bar or up there and go down the hill and not have to be on skis, but could be fun. We'll see. It seems to be very popular nationally and it's growing. And it's a good thing, and I welcome that, and I look forward to seeing a presentation to the township as to what their plan is, so I'm very supportive of that. We have that season again, it seems like in the spring, where you go out and all of a sudden, all the roadside signs pop up all over the place. So I'm going to just kind of tell vendors in this area that deal with this area, they are illegal. They will be removed, and they're just spending money poorly. So get out there and do a web ad or some real advertisement of a sort, because they're unsightly and oftentimes they obstruct traffic vision. So those will be being removed here forthwith. And I would like to say to all our friends out there, happy Easter and a peaceful Passover to all. And with that, I'll say good night. God bless, and I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
I have made a motion, seconded by Trustee Smith. All in favor?
Aye.
Adjourn.